So we're at Hurlong Airport, Saturday of Memorial Day weekend, and Dana's college classmate Joe is one of the glider pilots here and one of the tow pilots. So Dana's just getting off work at the flight school, and he flew the Cub over from Craig to fly this guy right here. So it's going to be pretty cool. Joe is a member of the North Florida Soaring Society, a glider club that's been based here at the Hurlong Airport since the mid-1960s. We come to Hurlong a lot for training, and it's a very interesting non-towered field with lots going on. In addition to the glider club, they have a skydive operation, several flight schools, and numerous based aircraft.
Of course, you see your altimeter.
Canopy latch.
I mean, your airspeed indicator.
Yep.
Okay, your altimeter. And we usually, what we do here is
Set it on
set
zero.
Zero,
Yep.
because we're almost at zero elevation.
Right.
Here we're at like 81.
Right.
Okay, vertical speed indicator, but this is called the variometer.
Yep.
Okay, this is. Okay, so you got your vertical speed indicator. Here's the board jet. What this is your electronic version of this.
Let's do a positive control check while I'm setting in.
Okay.
Okay.
These latches right here got them safety bars shut.
Yeah, because it's a canopy release.
I got you.
It jettisons the canopy.
Okay.
Let's do this. All right. So what you got here?
We're gonna roll it over.
Sure. What you got here are the dive brakes. So when you open it, like he's opening it right now, it'll be spoilers on the top and the bottom for the dive brakes. See how they pop up? Top and bottom? Yeah. So, okay. And then you have the rudder pedals. Everything you see up front is duplicated for rear seat.
Yeah.
Okay, in order to fly rear seat, you have to have an endorsement. So I have that in my logbook.
Okay.
And we do weight and balance just like with everything. That's why I asked you your weight.
Yeah.
Okay. And you got the placards right here, some other stuff. Your control stick. Right here is your trim for your elevator. Right there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
There's no flaps on this glider. Diana.
And then do you have a breakaway loop at either end in case you
Yes.
too much tug on it?
Yes. Yes. Watch this. There you go. So
And then where is he ideally trying to position himself?
Great question.
But typically you want the wheels on the horizon as part of
Right.
your visual.
Right, you want the wheels on the horizon of the tow plane. That's your game plan because your eyes are constantly, because you're affixed to the tow plane, so you're flying formation. So you're always scanning your instruments,
Right.
You know, especially for airspeed and things like that to see if, you know, they may have to pick up speed. And there's a lot of things that we communicate, instead of using our radio comms, we can communicate with hand signals on the ground, and in the air there's a series of signals that you can do in the air. For example, if the tow plane you feel is flying too slow,
Yeah.
and they didn't acknowledge you on the radio, then what you do is you rock your wings and as a glider, and that's telling you to go ahead and accelerate, pick up speed. You're going a little too slow. Because some gliders, especially the competition gliders, the private owners, they add water for ballast to
Yeah.
increase speed,
Yeah.
and therefore now your climb out rate could be, instead of 70, it could now go up to like 80. So you want to make sure you have enough speed. Otherwise, now you're going to be putting the glider in extremis
Yeah.
for like a slower speed. That's
Yeah.
increasing the possibility of a stall.
When you're the tow pilot, right? You were telling me this earlier when you take off. What kinds of things are you looking out for on departure to make sure that the departure goes safe both for you and for the glider?
Great question. What I'm really looking for is traffic in the area that we haven't seen before. That's the biggest concern. Our head is truly on a swivel because, once again, we're the PIC for the entire flight. So we're not only responsible for our own aircraft, but we're also also responsible for the glider that we're towing. So we have to really have our head on a swivel and consider that if there's another aircraft in the vicinity, that the maneuver we make, whether it's to descend or pull up or go to left or right, that we're not now putting the glider in extremis as well. So you have to think the bigger picture and not just for yourself. So the biggest thing I'm concerned about is, one, other aircraft in the surrounding area, and that they're clear of our operations.
This is actually a pretty important point and something for pilots of other aircraft to consider when flying in the vicinity of Hurlong or any airport that has glider operations. Most of these gliders here don't have electrical systems. They may have a battery-operated handheld radio that they can use to communicate with the tow plane, which is right in front of them, or with base operations, but not with other aircraft or ATC. They don't have ADS-B out, so they're not going to show up as a target on your iPad, so you really have to have your head on a swivel.
The other one, which is really very egregious, which is more prevalent, is if the glider gets out of tow position. That's very concerning for a tow pilot, especially if the glider balloons up. Because if the glider balloons up, I don't have time to ask, hey, what happened? You know, I'm going to automatically dump the glider because I have an emergency release on my tow plane. And because my biggest fear is to have the glider balloon up, pick my tail up, and now I'm looking straight down at the ground. I don't have much time to recover, especially at anything below 1,000 feet.
Yep.
So those are my biggest concerns.
And that's what I was mentioning earlier to you. That's very much in line with what we teach at the flight school. We have a philosophy called AQP for general aviation. You see it on the back of my t-shirt. It's called Advanced Qualification Program. It's an airline protocol where you want to just be prepared for all the what ifs that could happen to you. And I think a lot of general aviation pilots aren't really prepared for all those what ifs. And you've addressed some of them, right?
And here's another what if. What if I lose my engine?
Yeah.
I have to dump the glider. I don't have time to rock my wings because now I'm losing forward energy, and I'm going to have to dump that glider, and I have to find a place to land. So when I'm constantly airborne, especially in the tow plane, I'm constantly looking for a place to land. Whether I'm at 500 feet up, 1,000 feet up, it doesn't matter. I'm always looking for a place to land, because if that moment happens, those 2 to 3 seconds for you to try to figure out, hey, where I'm going to land, could be a difference between life and death.
Right.
So that's another big concern.
And now this afternoon, you're going to be the glider pilot with Dana. So when you're in the glider, what are you thinking about as you start rolling down the grass?
Wow. A couple of other things. First of all, I'm glad to be with my classmate. So I'm going to be stoked. And he's super experienced. So I feel like I was telling Meredith that I'm going to be with an FAA examiner. So I got to really fly to perfection, right?
No.
But as a glider pilot, as the PIC, my main concern is going to be the takeoff roll, that we're in position for the right behind the tow plane, that we are climbing at the right airspeed. If not, then we'll have to signal the tow plane to pick up airspeed or slow it down. I'm constantly situationally aware where the glider is, so when the tow plane makes for example, a left climb out turn, that then the glider's positioned in such a way that you still maintain the attention on the tow rope. Otherwise, you don't want to have what is known as a slack rope. And there are different things that we can do. So I'm looking at that, looking at airspeed. I'm also looking for other aircraft that maybe the tow plane might not have seen, or we both see. So this way, if I have to break away, I don't have to depend on the tow pilot now to say, okay, this is where I need to go. So I'm also, even as a glider pilot, though I'm being towed, I'm still looking for what if, a place to land, what about this, any kind of emergencies. One of the biggest things that I'm looking at, that I was already explaining to Dana, is our concern on takeoff is whether we're at 200 feet or above. And the reason why I bring that 200 feet, if the tow rope breaks and you're below 200 feet, you don't have much room to really properly execute a 180-degree turn, because you could go into what is known as an accelerated turn stall, right? And that anything below 200 feet, you're really putting yourself in the glider in extremis, and that in itself could kill you. So basically, you have to know the aircraft's limitations, your limitations, what you can do, and all that kind of stuff. And basically, if the tow rope breaks below 200 feet, you gotta already have that in your head. And I'm gonna veer off maybe 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees to the left or to the right. You gotta know what you're gonna do, because if that happens, once again, you don't have those 2 to 3 seconds to try to then figure out what you need to do.
Right.
Anything over 200, you can then pretty much safely execute a 180 back to the airfield and land on the reciprocal. So here today we're on 7, so the reciprocal would be 2.5. If that were the case, then now you have to have other things in consideration on a stronger, windier day. Now instead of a headwind, now you've got a tailwind.
Right.
So now your ground speed is going to be a lot faster than your takeoff ground speed. So you have to have all these things into consideration. So once again, your head's on the swivel. And you don't stop thinking. Your brain is your flight computer. I don't have instrumentation in the aircraft to say, hey, you can do this and all that kind of stuff. So your brain is your flight computer.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rough over here.
Yeah. So Dana's first time flying a glider.
Fine.
Okay, you're good.
Yeah, this is comfy, yeah.
All right, you out here.
All right.
How's that? Good?
Yep, good.
Fascinating. So the tow plane is repositioning to get right in front of the glider.
Alright, I'll take it. I'll do the running.
All right, you ready? We're gonna go. Okay, rudders, here we go. And now we're airborne. What do you think?
Awesome.
I'm adjusting trim a little bit. It's a little windy.
Yeah, it is.
That's okay. And then you just ride it. If it balloons, you just don't overcorrect.
I got you.
All right, 200 feet. You have the controls.
Okay.
How's it feel?
Feels good.
There you go. Maneuver's nice and smooth, not over correcting. Beautiful. A little bit more mid-wing. There you go. Beautiful. Down. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. You don't mind that I talk to you, right?
No, please stop.
All right, nice and easy. Gradual movements. Very gradual. Let the plane climb a little bit. You got the wheels on the horizon. There you go. Nice and easy. Just go with it. Okay. The nose of the aircraft mid-wing on the left wing. All right, we're into some thermals. That's what's throwing the plane up and down. There you go. Just stick with them. Gradual movements because it's bumpy. A little lower. There you go. Once it straightens out, go to the center. All right, I've got the controls.
Okay.
All right. Tow plane glider, executing, box the wake. All right, here we go. Nice and easy. See we smooth out. Now coming down gently. Feel that?
Yeah.
All right. A little lower. All right, right there. Right. Now we're going to slide to the left. Your eyes are constantly on the tow plane. Low left, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now come up. Left rudder. Hold it. It's a little bumpy. The gust blew us over. It's a little too tough. We'll just go ahead and finish the maneuver. Light right. Down. Right rudder. Coming down. Slow. Not too harsh. Hold it there. See that?
Yep.
Now slide it over. Rudder. Now up. Wow, we got hit by a gust from before. Alright. So now we're just going to hold this nice and steady.
Okay.
See that? A lot of stick and rudder. Alright, you have the controls.
I got flight control.
Alright. Once again, stay right behind her. Nice and easy. Alright, we're at 2,000. We're going to take it to 3,000.
Okay.
Right before the breakaway, I'll have the controls.
Okay.
I'll let you know. Okay, nice and easy. There you go, Dana. Nose mid-wing, right wing. Come back center just a little bit. You lessen the degree. The tighter the turn, the more on the outer wing you want to be.
I got you.
There you go. Nice. Nice. Just very smooth. You want to fly with your fingertips with the glider.
Right.
There you go. A little bit mid-wing. There you go. Perfect. You see how the line's maintaining tension?
Yeah.
There you go. That's what you want. Nice and easy. You got the wheels on the horizon. Beautiful. If she balloons, just let the glider follow.
Okay.
If not, then climb up very gradually.
Okay.
Otherwise, it will overcorrect. We're at 2,500 feet. There you go. 2,600. I'll take over at 27.
Okay.
Come up a little bit. You're getting too low. Nice and easy. Beautiful. Wheels on the horizon. I've got the controls.
You got flight control.
All right. Now we're going to hold her nice and steady. See that? Just constantly maneuvering. But see how we're not really losing any altitude?
Yeah.
All right. That's what you want to do. All right. Are we clear to the right? No traffic.
To the right.
Clear right, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Stand by. I'll do the release.
Okay.
All right, on three. 1, 2, 3. Clear right. And you can see the yaw string.
Yeah, where's
All right.
that?
So we're gonna.
I don't see the yaw string came off.
Oh, you don't. Okay, I've got one back here. All right, so you know where we're at, of course.
Yeah.
All right. So now we've released. I'm gonna just trim. All right. And then I'll show you like a turn. So we'll go towards Hurlong. There's the tow plane. So we could slow it down a little bit. I'll just go ahead and show you like slow flight.
Okay.
So basically we control our speed of the glider with pitch up or down, right? So now our speed is just like at 39.
Okay.
36. We're holding it there for right now. It's a little gusty. You feel that?
Yeah.
The thermals are affecting that speed.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and pick up speed. And if we want to go from one thermal to the next, we go to pick up speed to 60, but we won't need to do that right now.
Okay.
We'll just approach it with 50. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a turn to the left. Are we clear left?
Clear left.
All right, here we go. Clear left, clear left. Little right, left rudder, and then you see.
Yeah.
And clear. All right, and we're still at 50. All right, you want to take the controls?
Yep.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
I got flight controls.
You have the flight controls. Go ahead and just do a shallow turn to the right and maintain 50 knots.
Okay.
So that nose down a bit. Get your airspeed up first. Okay. It is bumpy. That's what's throwing this off. All right.
There's
You're at
50.
Clear right.
Clear right.
Execute a turn to the right. How's that feel?
Feels awesome. Put a little up trim in it.
Okay.
We got traffic below us.
Roger. Okay, level off. 50. Alright. Now do another shallow turn to the left, clear left.
Clear left.
Right. How's it feel?
Awesome. Piece of cake.
Isn't this amazing?
Yeah, it is. Joe!
Yo, Dana!
Kevin! What's going on, man? Woohoo! This is awesome.
Alright, continue turn and straighten out towards downtown.
Okay.
Alright, level off.
Oops.
Wow. Alright, let's see if we got any thermals. Alright, I have the controls.
You got flight controls.
Thermals were like more in a day. It's like they seem to be dissipated.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would have thought there'd be a little more lift, but
I thought
just
so,
because it's
too.
hot doesn't mean there's a lot of lift, right?
No, that's true.
Going as far as you can distance. Sample more thermals.
Yeah. That's
And
L
then
over
in
D.
sync is if you're trying to go slow, just either stay in a thermal or extend your flight time. So when if you record a 2-knot thermal, you'll add 10 knots to your L over D speed. It's kind of the rule of thumb, 5-10 knots. So you have more time to sample more thermals because you can go further out and expect another 2-knot thermal is the idea.
He's killing altitude now.
I don't know. He might be going back up.
Is he getting a thermal? Maybe.
That or was just leaving a lot of room for the
Yeah.
L23.
He's staying where he is. He might be going up. We caught a little lift on our landing. Now that
And that doesn't cover half of it.
No, that's what I mean.
So tell me how you use the SKU-T.
So the easiest giveaway on the SKU-T is when there's two lines. There's a dew point and a temperature line, or a relative humidity. And when those two lines intersect, it means there's going to be clouds at that altitude.
Right.
And so with that, you know there's going to be CU, which is the easiest way of staying up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And then the winds aloft are very, very valuable. And you can also trace back the lapse rate to figure out how strong the lift is going to be at different altitudes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Fabulous.
yeah.
All right, here we go. There's something coming. I'm looking at the vertical speed indicator.
Yep.
Our game plan, though, is when we hit 1,200 feet, then we'll go ahead and bring it in.
Okay.
It's better to have altitude,
Yeah.
you know, bring it in safe and sound. All
Yeah.
right, here we're coming into some lift. So let me bank it around, and I'm gonna feel for it.
See if you can find it.
Yeah. It's like we call it, we're sniffing it out right
Right.
now.
There's a little bit.
There's a little right in here. Not much.
No.
It's like there's something that is there, but it's not coming out.
Right.
And unless you find it, you don't want to go too steep because we're going slow.
Right.
You feel that? Okay.
Yep. There's some.
Here's some. And then we lost it. So we were in and out of it for a second. So if you feel it, you level off. Kick it in the little left. See how we're sensing it?
Yep.
And we're always staying visually aware where the airfield is.
Yep. We got a guy on the crossing right here, but he's well below us.
Roger.
He's at your 1 o'clock.
There's really nothing. It's just that where we let go and it just dissipated.
That's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Nope. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna increase speed. You good?
Yep.
We want to get out of this area because there's not much here. So we're gonna go by the solar panels. We still have enough altitude. If you want, you can shadow my controls, right?
Okay.
Okay, I felt that boom.
Yeah.
All right, there might be something right around here.
There's a little bit.
It's coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up.
You have a Vario back there?
Yes, I do. All right, we're gonna move away from the airfield and not turn into traffic.
Yeah, there he is.
Wow, I was expecting like a really boom.
This is awesome, Joe.
I'm really happy to be up here with you.
Yeah, this is a special treat.
We don't want to go below 40.
Okay.
That's just a safety factor. At least that's mine.
Where's your sense of adventure?
On the ground.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, there's a little something here. We're gradually getting to 1200. So one thing we want to do is we don't want to push it. Right?
Right.
So if we need to go up again, we can. All right. The rule of thumb is you don't want a thermal, close to pattern altitude.
Right.
It's against the regs. Here's a little bump. So we'll just do the landing checklist just in case, as I'm playing with this. Here's a little bit. We're not losing anything, so we'll do it. Landing checklist. Wind, we know the wind already. Undercarriage is down on lock. Speed brakes, we'll adjust it in a second. I don't want to touch it just yet. Trim, we're good on trim. Airspeed, we're going to hit up 50. And now we're all set. There's something right here. You feel it?
Yeah. No, I don't feel it, but I see it in the Vario.
Alright, now I'm in it. We're climbing.
Yeah.
We're at 100 foot per minute.
That's awesome.
Alright, we're gaining altitude now. Here we go. We found a thermal.
That's awesome. Yeehaw!
I would go faster, but I'd pop out of that thermal.
Yeah.
So it's very, very small, you notice?
Yep. Yeah, we're out of it now.
Yep, that's the outer edge of the thermal.
Yeah.
We're watching that airspeed because we don't want to go into a stall. So you see how it picks up?
Yeah.
I went straight for a few minutes or a second.
Yeah, we've
Now
been at
we're
1300 for about almost 2 minutes now.
Alright, there's a little bit of a bump here. We're situationally aware where the airfield is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good, we're good. Gonna bank it again. It's a very weak thermal and it's sporadic. Here's a little bit of a bump. How do you feel?
Excellent.
Are you shadowing the controls?
We're stuck at 1,300. What'd you say?
Are you good? Are you mirroring the controls with me?
No, I'm not. No, I'm just.
Okay.
I'm just videoing and watching.
Okay, that's fine. Just relax.
Yep. There's a glider right there.
Roger. Thank you. That's the 123 single seat. He's going in for a landing.
Man, we're just stuck at 1,300.
We've lost a little bit.
Yeah, lost 25 feet. That's amazing.
See the glider?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to get too slow. But for me, the rule of thumb is once I really hit 1,200, we're close to the airfield because of our glide ratio. Even if it was less, I won't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But if we were like 5 miles out, I wouldn't
Well,
do
you can
this.
feel that right there, man.
Yep.
I felt that one in my butt.
Yeah, that's what, a lot of it is flying by the seat. You feel that?
Yeah. I feel that one.
See, we're minimum sync right now. Now we're at 1,200.
That's awesome, Joe.
We're gonna straighten out just a little bit.
Okay.
Here we go. And we'll bring it back into thermal. See what we're doing?
Yeah.
And we can make it a little bit tighter. We picked up about 50 feet.
Yep.
So the flight could have ended, but we're still within range. All right, we're gonna straighten out a little bit. Look at the lift. All right, now I'm back into it. What we're doing is we're adjusting with that thermal. All right, what I'm gonna do is straighten out. All right, we're not gonna keep trying to play it because now we're at 1,000, or
Yep.
excuse me, 1150.
Yep.
So we'll just pick up speed. Alright, I don't want to test the air brakes just yet. Oh, you see that aircraft at your 2 o'clock?
Got him, yep.
Okay. That looks like the jump plane.
On the flat field there, he would fall to the sky hurl.
Alright. Pick up speed.
modified approach. Furlong traffic glider 7 Bravo Alpha, entering left downwind for runway 7, grass, furlong. And now we'll test the air brakes because I know. Did you see the air brakes?
Yep.
Okay. Now I'm going to turn. Alright, remember I said about 800 number, 800, being of the numbers, here we go. It is gusty. 600. Furlong traffic glider 7 Bravo Alpha, turning left base for runway 7 grass. 500. Picking up speed. We're going to have to crab a little bit. It's really quite gusty.
Nothing you can't handle, brother.
Roger. Alright, remember I said about 300 on final?
Yep.
Not bad without an engine, right?
Not at all.
Alright. Maintaining 50. Now we can start to descend. $50, glider pointed down, maintaining 50, air brakes deploying, aiming point set. I'm using the spoilers as my engine. Maintaining 50, maintaining 50, 50, a little bit right rudder, hold her steady, hold her steady, hold her steady, hold her steady.
And trying to fly at the same time.
Right.
But I think it wouldn't take me too long to figure this out.
I think the next flight you'll nail it. I really do. Are you kidding?
That was so much fun, man.
Oh man, are you kidding? I'm stoked.
Woohoo! Awesome. Good job.
Brother Rat, PR!
I just want to say thanks again to Joe for giving Dana this amazing experience, and also to the North Florida Soaring Society for their hospitality. Everybody was very friendly and welcoming.